and for my final exam, I'm going to be answering the question, choose a model from this semester and identify at least 2 skills you've learned from the content. So for this question, I'm going to be doing week 9, or writing for radio and television. So my first skill is how to be concise and get to the point but not into too much detail. So this is the module, writing for radio and television. And the module in the actual course is only the writing for radio, and then when you get to the television news script assignment, it has all of the television information, which I like because it's not too overwhelming with both all at once. And then you have the short lecture, which is really good at answering like all those small questions that you might have that can make or break your radio ad. And then we have these readings, which were really helpful. They were more like trainings. So this one was really helpful in just learning how to put together a radio ad, and what to do for the intro, the body, and how to end it. And then this article is really good for giving you essentials that you for sure need when you're writing. And this one is really good for showing you how to be concise. It has a section in it that talks about editing your own, making it, using short sentences, avoiding ping pong or jumping around, things like that, and like make sure that it has rhythm and flow, and just making sure that it's an all-around good radio ad, that it's easy to follow, that people in the car are going to actually listen to it instead of change the channel or station. And then to make sure that the focus is clear and that it's specific enough that you can summarize it in one sentence, but also that there's enough that you can fill out your entire radio ad for it. And then this one had an assignment that was to write and record your own PSA radio ad. This is mine. It was about the USDA food safety, to just teach consumers how to safely eat food. So this had to be 30 seconds, and then it was recorded into 30 seconds, which was definitely challenging, definitely taught me how to be concise, because you want to include the most important information in it that you possibly can in a very short 30-second window, because when you're recording, that 30 seconds seems a lot shorter than it really is. I chose to include information in the first part, and then towards the end I included the poultry hotline number and foodsafety.gov, the website that they could go to learn more. That way, if there wasn't something that I specifically covered in the information before, that they would have it, because I was had to be so concise to fit important information in there. They may need to know more details to keep their food safe. So that way, they have a way to learn more information if they need to. So then my next skill was telling a story that a listener can follow. So this part was answered mostly by the television news script, a little bit by the radio ad, but not quite as much. Like I said earlier, the television news script, the television news information was on the assignment page, which I like because you're not being overwhelmed by radio and television at the same time. So like you could focus on each. And then the television news script has all the information that you need. And then it has the news article that we had to base our television script off of. So, it was about a virus in Mexico, or Mexican tomatoes, that they were concerned about American tomatoes because this virus could be potentially harmful to these tomatoes. And they were also worried about human health, because that's always an issue when there's a virus. And then we had a document with the format, and a chapter out of the textbook that was very helpful, and an example. So with all of this information I wrote my television script following the example, and as you can see, it has the video on the left and the audio on the right, making sure that it has all the details in it, what needs to be happening on the screen in the video while the certain audio is going on, who's on the screen, what size shots, who's talking, that kind of thing. This definitely taught me how to tell a story to make it cohesive when you have so many different sources, so many different people that you could pull in to answer questions or make statements about things. Sometimes it can be hard to make it flow. So that was a challenge, reading it out loud to make sure it made sense, picturing it in my head, just having to make all these different people that I took information from the article from saying things as if they would have came and spoke for me in a recording themselves, making these statements, was hard to make sure that it flowed and that it sounded natural and that it sounded like an actual television script. But I think I worked on it pretty well and figured that out and did pretty well on the assignment. And then a definite aha moment for me was realizing the time seems a lot shorter when you're trying to record information in a small time. So like the 30-second radio ad was really hard to get all the necessary information that the consumer needs, and it's almost impossible to do so. So you just have to pull out the most important things and give them a source to do further research themselves that they're going to remember after they get out of the car when they're most likely listening to the radio. What I felt was missing from the module, or what else I would like to learn on this content, I said maybe include an actual example, not just a previous student recording, although that was very helpful for the assignment, just so we can see or hear like a real radio ad or see a real radio clip. So that way it's easier to figure out how they do it in that business so that ours can flow better, make better sense, the storyline is better, the information that we give is cohesive and concise and is able to get our point across just like they do professionally. So I would definitely say maybe include real professional radio ads or television news, maybe even clips of them, just so we can see okay, they had a real a person giving a statement, and then it was the reporter, and then a person giving two more people giving statements, and then the reporter for a little bit, and just to see how they break that up and show the different people doing the different things or giving different statements on that kind of thing. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, I rate my proficiency at skill 1, which was how to be concise and get your point across but not give too much detail to be able to fit into a time. I would say I'm about a 6, and that's if I have a little bit of time That's if I have a little bit of time to work on it. And then if I have an extended amount of time to work on it, I can definitely make it very concise and pull out all those unnecessary fluff words and things like that. And then for skill 2, telling a story to the listener so that they can follow it and that they remember it and get accurate information, I would say I'm about a 7. And then again, with more time, I could have a higher number for that. But overall, I think I mastered these 2, writing for radio and television. I definitely learned a lot that would help for radio or television if I decided to pursue that. But even just skills to go towards writing in general, how to be concise, how to tell a story so that normal listeners can follow it and actually retain the information that I'm trying to get across from them, as opposed to writing scientifically, which is what I'm used to since I'm an animal science major. I'm used to being able to use the scientific literature and people understanding what I'm saying. So it's definitely an adjustment to learn to write or communicate towards people that aren't in the scientific community, but I definitely think it's a skill that's going to help me in the long run. Thank you.